Nintendo, sir? Yes? Some people are having complaints about our console. What do you think you're gonna do about it? Oh, just ignore them. What do you mean ignore them? They're literally mobbing outside. They really are. I'm not gonna do anything about it. Nintendo, we know the company. We love the company. But come on, Nintendo! You need to step up your game. Most of us think of similar things that we want to see in Nintendo's consoles, more specifically the Switch. So I'm here today to say what I, and possibly you, want to see in the Switch. I already talked about the Switch in general in my 2 years with the Nintendo Switch video, so I won't talk about things like that. Rather, I want to talk about things I want to see from Nintendo and their consoles. And to start off, I'll talk about the first thing you see when you open the Switch, the home menu. Let me just say, this UI is simple. Too simple. I don't like it. I kind of feel uncomfortable, annoyed, I don't even know. There isn't even a feeling suited for this look. Look at it, it's just a bunch of squares and circles. I will say this is a major improvement from the Wii U, but still. If you compared it to the PS4, I would somewhat choose the PS4 over it. I only say somewhat because the PS4 itself is kind of a hot mess. It's not perfect, but it does things right. How I would improve the Switch home menu is by, for starters, adding more themes to the console. The 3DS had this, and I loved it. You only had the ability to customize your system. That makes it feel like it's something that you possess. Second, well, it's just quiet. What did you say? I didn't catch that. I said quiet! Oh, gotcha. Yeah, just add some music or sounds. I don't want to feel as if something will jump at me. The home screen's one thing, but there's things about these small icons on the bottom. Oh my god, did they ruin the theme for this console. I have almost the same complaints for this as the home menu. I guess it's fine with the settings. They didn't even know what they were doing for the Wii U's one, so I'll let this one slide. But let's start off with the news channel. I'm sure you guys don't use this, and that's the thing. It sounds so useful, but they don't put incredibly useful things in it. It's kind of like an email inbox with all the unnecessary subscriptions you have. It looks like junk, but sometimes they aren't. Splatoon did something cool with its channel, and they gave you free items by clicking the bottom button. But then there are channels that exist but don't update. Then there's the eShop. We will get back to that in a sec. And then the album. This is cool, I guess. There isn't much to say about it. Oh, the Switch eShop. Do I ever have no complaints for you? I would love to love this eShop, but it isn't satisfying to be in it. It's like walking into a warehouse with little to no service. That would be nice, but then you don't know what you're doing. In this eShop, you've got categories. Featured is where games get featured. It's in the title. Great deals have some deals, but I wouldn't always say they're great. Bestsellers is what you think. Coming soon is what you think. And enter code is what you think. That leaves us with recent releases. That also is what you think. Then the search. I will say, they have improved it, but just a bit. You can find what you're looking for by just searching for it, or if you want to find a new game, you can use these filters. That's cool and all, but don't you think it's a little hidden? Not necessarily. I guess what I'm trying to say is, the Wii U did a fine job with their eShop, so they could have done something more similar. And yet again, they could have added some music to it. I loved going to the Wii U eShop and listening to the music there. It felt like I was in a real shop or something. Enough about the Switch. I could talk about the friends list and its lack of communication, but this mistake will happen a lot of times, so don't be surprised in the next console. But Nintendo themselves, they are doing a good job for the most part, but things like their apps and services feel a bit tedious. Let's start with their app. So Nintendo started off by making an app for Nintendo Switch Online. This is used for games that have an online presence. However, by the time I'm making this video, there are only 2 games supporting this app.
Super Smash Bros. And Splatoon. They both took this opportunity and made something really handy for their respective communities. Smash lets you look at content people made via the shared content that was added in the Joker update. It has some customizability to it, which makes your browsing easy. Splatoon 2 has like a hub type service. This lets you buy things that are from the market if they aren't sold in-game, but you still waste your Splatoon money. This also tracks down your Splatoon 2 records and has news about the stages and Salmon Run events. This is literally a handy thing for Splatoon 2 players. And then there's the voice chat. I'm not even gonna bother talking about this. They should have implemented something on their console, but no, they wanted to put in their app instead. Now the problem with this app is not the services that are included, it's the lack of services to begin with. Realistically, you wouldn't really use this app. That's because there isn't much to do. I see so much potential for this service, but they didn't bother with it. They could have added something like a Mario Maker 2 service, which would fit this app really well. They could have also added a text feature alongside their voice chat. It's not like you just added someone you played with in Smash just to never talk to them in your life. They could have done something similar to the PlayStation app and made it the ideal Nintendo hub.
There you go again, comparing Nintendo to PlayStation.
Finally, I wanted to talk about Nintendo's communication. It is good, but it's not great. Directs are amazing, but the last real direct was on September 4th, 6 months ago. Yeah, we don't get updated a whole lot, do we? We only get Nintendo Directs for specific games, and that only satisfies their respective fans. It would be amazing if, instead of full Directs, they could tease us with some games. They don't have to be big or anything, just like 10-minute Directs that just has some news about Nintendo in general. There are games like Bayonetta 3 and Metroid Prime 4, which we don't even know anything about, so a small teaser would be nice. We would know the game isn't cancelled or anything. And then the SNES Online, man, do they ever update these? This came out in September, and they only updated it like 3 or 4 times. It's times like these that I get scared they will abandon this idea. And I was really hoping for an N64 Online or even a GameCube Online one day.
But that's basically all I have to say. Some of these things aren't really what I think, but the idea wouldn't be such a bad one. I don't really think any of these would be added, but I could only dream. Nintendo's working really hard, so please don't force them. I only really did this video for fun, so I didn't take it seriously. But then again, Nintendo, when are you gonna add taunting back to Smash Online?